Let's talk about dynamic programming in interviews. If you've ever struggled with it, trust me, you are not alone. But what if I told you there's a simple, repeatable playbook to absolutely crush it? Well, today, that is exactly what we're going to build.
And this right here, this is the goal. We want to turn DP from something you dread into your secret weapon. This quote is from a Google engineer, and that feeling of confidence, that cakewalk feeling, that's exactly where we're headed.
Okay, here's our game plan. We've got a 5-part playbook to get you through any DP problem. We're going to start with the right mindset, then nail down the 2 core mechanics, look at a really common trap, and finish with a pro-level move that'll make you stand out.
First things first, we've got to totally reframe what dynamic programming even is. Seriously, it's not about memorizing a bunch of complicated solutions, it's a whole new way of thinking about problems.
At its absolute core, DP is just a brilliant trade-off. You use a little bit of memory to gain a massive amount of speed. The whole magic trick is just breaking a big, scary problem into smaller, easy-to-solve pieces, and then remembering the answers so you never, ever have to solve them again. And get this isn't some new interview fad. This idea is old school. It was developed way back in the 50s by Richard Bellman for making optimal decisions in super complex systems. Turns out that's a perfect way to think about solving tricky interview problems too. So, where do we even begin? Step 1, and honestly, this is the most critical part of the whole process, is defining the state. Get this right, and you've built the foundation for your entire solution.
So just think of the state as the question you're asking at each tiny step of the problem. Like, what's the one piece of info you need to figure out? Maybe DP of I is, what's the max profit I can have on day I? Or what's the longest subsequence that ends right here at index I? It's the heart of your subproblem.
And this is why grid problems are such a great way to learn. They make this abstract idea of a state totally concrete. For a classic path counting problem, the state DP I and j is literally just the number of ways you can get to that specific box on the grid. Each cell is just a smaller problem we have to solve along the way.
Okay, so you've figured out your states, now you got to connect them, right? And that brings us to the engine of every single DP solution, the recurrence relation.
Don't let the fancy words fool you. This is just the formula, the recipe that tells you how to figure out the answer for your current step using answers you've already found. It's the bridge that connects all your little subproblems together.
And the Fibonacci sequence is the perfect example, right? To find any number in the sequence, you don't have to start all the way from the beginning. The recurrence relation says, hey, just grab the 2 numbers that came right before it and add them up. That simple formula is everything.
Now, understanding that relation is key because it helps us avoid a massive trap that catches so many people, the crazy inefficiency of just plain old recursion.
You know, a simple recursive solution can look so clean and elegant, but it's a total performance disaster. And why? Because it has no memory. It ends up calculating the same thing, like the 5th Fibonacci number, over and over and over again in different parts of the code. Just a huge waste of time.
So here's the crucial difference. Dynamic programming uses a technique called memoization, which, by the way, is just a fancy word for caching, to store results. You solve for f of 5 one time, you jot down the answer, and every other time you need it, you just look it up. That's our memory for speed trade-off in action.
So we're talking about going from exponential time to linear time. But what does that actually mean? It's not just a little bit faster. The difference is, well, it's absolutely mind-boggling. Just look at this chart. To calculate the 80th Fibonacci number, the DP way takes, about 80 steps. Simple. The naive recursive way, it would take over a sextillion operations. That is literally more operations than there are stars in the known universe. It's the difference between your code finishing instantly and, well, never finishing at all.
Okay, so you did it. You avoided the trap. You wrote a solution that's lightning fast. You're feeling good. But in a really tough interview, a great interviewer is almost always going to push you one step further.
And there it is, the classic follow-up question. They want to see if you can be just as smart about memory as you are about speed. This is where you go from being a good candidate to a great one, by showing you can have it all, top speed and amazing space efficiency.
So what's the big aha moment here? You have to ask yourself, to calculate the next Fibonacci number, do I really need that entire list of all the previous numbers? And the answer is no. You only need the last 2. That's it. You can just throw the rest away.
And this right here is what that rolling array trick looks like. Instead of a big DP array that keeps growing, we just use two simple variables. They just roll forward, holding only the information we need for the very next calculation. So simple, but so smart.
And this little optimization, it's a complete game changer. You take your solution's memory usage from being proportional to the input size all the way down to constant space. That is a huge win, and it sends a massive signal to your interviewer that you think about efficiency on every level.
All right, let's wrap it all up. Here it is, your DP playbook. It's a clear, structured process. Start with the right mindset, define your state, find the recurrence formula, build your solution while avoiding that nasty recursive trap, and then, for the finishing move, you nail that space optimization. See, this whole framework just demystifies dynamic programming. It turns it from this scary, abstract thing into a step-by-step process. You've got the tools now. The only thing left is to go practice.